Hi Stampin' Friends, this is Trina Brower with a quick little Halloween video that I'm going to be changing from Spooky and Happy Halloween to make it into a October birthday card for some people. So anyways, I just wanted to show you that I'd be using the Festive and Bright stamp set. This one in the middle is the image that I'm going to be using. I have already used this one in a previous video. In fact, let me show you this. It was a Christmas card, and we used that and some pine bows and a little bit of ribbon, and it turned out really cute. I liked it. So, but this time we're going to be concentrating more on the Halloween. This is, of course, coming from our mini catalog. This was the page 64 that it's on, and I'm really enjoying it. The only piece that I haven't really used yet, of course, is this more fall one, and who knows, I might use it later on this year. You never know. I want to also show you a couple of the other stamp sets that I'll be using. They're all retired, but I'd like to show them to you. This Fall Fest, I'm going to be using vellum along with the die for it. Our old Spooky Bingo bits, and I'll be using the Eek from this. And then, of course, Wacky Wishes was what I used the Happy Halloween for the Halloween card, but I won't be using that today because I've already printed up a different sentiment for inside. So let's get started real quick. I'll put this off to the side. First of all, I'm starting with your regular 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 piece of basic black cardstock. And then I'm going to use some designer series paper, and of course, whatever you find that you like, hey, use it. This is another piece that I had. This was also from a year or so ago. I also love this side with the spiders on it, but I'm not going to be using that one today. I'm keeping with the black and white theme. So put that there. Let's get this on my card. And the other thing I wanted to show you was something with this stamp set that I found that works pretty well for me. Let me show you on this one right here. This is that a fall image, and you can see, being that it's the photopolymer, you can kind of wiggle this a little bit, and so sometimes you don't quite get it straight the way you want it to match up with your dies. And of course, the dies that go with this are pretty cool. You've got the dies for each of these stamped images, plus then a little ghost, an apple, some Christmas lights, a little bit of leaves, some more of your pine bows, and then of course this label that we used in the Halloween one right here for this spooky. But sometimes when you're, like I said, when you're lining these up, you want to make sure you kind of get them on right so they'll work well with your die. So what I kind of do is take my die and I just kind of lay it here on my stamp set to make sure that I'm getting everything, that when I go to cut it on my Big Shot, that I'm going to get the right image. Of course, the other thing that I always do is I stamp an image first just to make sure it's going to be what I want, and then of course line it up to make sure once again that I'm going to have it exactly like I want it. So let me put this to the side. Usually when I'm using a photopolymer, I use a Stampin' Pierce pad just to give it that extra oomph. And I have already taken, and this is another piece of cardstock that of course was cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and I have already stamped my image just by going kind of counterclockwise, or I mean I guess diagonally across my cardstock, and then I'll run it through the Big Shot cutting this out. And through the magic of video, I already have one cut. And then I took my markers and just did a little bit of coloring, some gray, a little bit of brown on the brooms, and of course something on the witches' hats too around there. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right on the card. And you can offset it a little if you want. I'm going to really try and line it up right with the bottom of my designer series paper. Put that there like that. And this time, like I said, I used the Eek from the Spooky Bingo bits, and then I just cut another piece of black cardstock to mount it on, just to make it simple and a little bit different. Plus, I didn't need it to be quite as large as I did with the Spooky. So I'm just going to put this right down right about here. There we go. Now, of course, with my ghost, I've already added on the googly eyes. You cannot have ghosts without the googly eyes. So those are on there, and I cut this out of, with the die, out of just a piece of vellum, which worked out really nice. I was happy with that. Let me go ahead and get some of my mini glue dots, because what I found worked best was just taking a mini glue dot and putting it right on the back of those googly eyes. And that way it stays on my ghost, but you can't see it through to the card. Oops, don't want it to stick. Okay, and we're going to put him right here. That looks good. Right there. And of course, I've already got the inside done. I've printed up a little saying, wishing you a frightfully fun birthday, happy birthday. And I used the old retired Bat Punch. Can't live without him. And so just a quickie inside here, add a little bit. And I have my completed birthday card for those birthdays that are in October. Try to make it match a little bit for the season. Okay, let me show you a few other cards that I did just using some different designer series paper. Move some of this stuff out of the way. This one has some bats on it. I thought that looked nice. This one was, of course, some spider webs. Another one with just some silver foil dots on it. And, oh, that one's more bats again. So, take a look at my cards here, and you can see how I've changed this one just to make it into a little bit more of a birthday card for October. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I had fun making the cards. I always do. Halloween's one of the best ones for me making cards. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can always reach me at trenabrower@gmail.com. Once again, thanks for watching, and keep stamping and scrapping. Bye-bye.